Ancient Egypt, the land of pharaohs, pyramids, gods with animal heads, and eyeliner that could kill a man. For over 3,000 years, Egypt dominated the ancient world with style, science, and just the right amount of snake worship. But then, it all came crashing down. So, how did ancient Egypt end? Like, really end? Let's rewind. Around 1500 BCE, Egypt was thriving. We're talking gold bling, armies, agriculture, mummies, you name it. Pharaohs like Thutmose III and Ramses II were out there expanding the empire, building statues of themselves taller than your apartment building. According to historians at the University of Chicago, yes, this is a real study and not just my cousin Dave's blog, Egypt at its peak was the global flex. But here's the thing about being at the top. There's only one way to go, down. Internal drama, weak rulers, and more inbreeding than a royal family reunion started to chip away at the power. And yes, even ancient Egypt couldn't escape bad leadership. Looking at you, Akhenaten, the pharaoh who literally told people to stop worshipping the entire pantheon and focus on one weird sun disk. So, how did ancient Egypt end? Well, it didn't help that everyone and their sandals decided to invade. The Assyrians, around 700 BCE. Hello, we heard you have gold and terrible military coordination. The Persians, 525 BCE. Nice temples, they're ours now. Alexander the Great, 332 BCE. Hey, I'm Greek, but now I'm also a pharaoh. Cool with that? The Romans, 30 BCE. Nice Cleopatra. We'll take the whole country, thanks. Seriously, according to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Egypt was basically passed around like a divine hot potato. The problem? Egypt had become the ancient equivalent of a legacy software system. Still running, but outdated and full of bugs. Let's talk Cleopatra. You know, the icon, the drama queen, the last pharaoh. She was smart, multilingual, and politically savvy. But even she couldn't stop the inevitable. Cleopatra tried to save Egypt the old-fashioned way, with hot romance and high-stakes alliances. Enter Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, two Roman power players who both fell for her, and both died. According to Plutarch, a guy who wrote about people 100 years after they died, so basically the first history gossip columnist, Cleopatra's death in 30 BCE, probably by snakebite or poison, or maybe just pure stress, marked the official end of pharaonic Egypt. So how did ancient Egypt end? Well, she tried to flirt her way out of it. Didn't work. After Cleopatra, Egypt became a Roman province. So now, Egyptian gods were out and Roman taxes were in. Over time, even the old religion faded. Temples were shut down. Hieroglyphs stopped being written. And, according to the British Museum, the last known hieroglyph was carved in 394 CE. That's like if Shakespeare was the last person to ever write English. And then came Christianity, followed by Islam in the 7th century. Egypt changed hands again and again. The ancient traditions got buried, literally, like under sand. Okay, let's answer the question. How did ancient Egypt end? It didn't just fall. It faded, slowly, awkwardly, like that one party guest who doesn't realize the party's over. There wasn't one final battle, no last stand, just a mix of bad rulers, foreign invasions, changing religions, economic collapse, and Cleopatra's failed political seduction attempt. According to modern Egyptologists, it's one of the longest, slowest collapses in history. It's less Game of Thrones and more ancient Egyptian soap opera, the slow burn edition. So yeah, ancient Egypt didn't go out with a bang, it went out with a very long, drawn-out, Very dramatic sigh. But don't feel too bad. You can still see the pyramids, you can still say rah like you mean it, and hey, mummies are still having a cultural moment. Like, comment and subscribe if you learned something new. Like the fact Cleopatra wasn't actually Egyptian. Yeah, she was Greek. More on that next time.